Now, we also see global crisis in the financial markets. We have a mega default in China that is looming for January the 31st. Chinese state media reported that China Credit Trust Company warned investors that they may not be repaid when one of its wealth management products matures on January the 31st. And what they did was the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China sold the China Credit Trust product to its customers in the Shanxi province. Sounds just like America, doesn't it? They dump this stuff before they get stuck with it, and then they disavow any connection to it. Now, this is about $500 million that's going on in China that they're going to stick investors there with. In Germany, we see that Deutsche Bank there is warning that they're having challenges ahead. They're looking at 1.3 billion net loss just last quarter that they're reporting. And New York Times reports that Deutsche Bank, which is the largest investment banking operation in Europe, disclosed a bigger than expected quarterly loss and warned of a difficult year ahead. So we see that the global financial crisis is not anywhere under control. It's moving across. It's in Germany, it's in China. And there's an interesting story that was in Zero Hedge that says Germany has recovered a paltry 5 tons of gold from the New York Fed after a year. They say a year after the Bundesbank announced its stunning decision, driven by Zero Hedge's revelations, to repatriate 674 tons of gold from the New York Fed and the French Central Bank. It had only managed to transfer a paltry 37 tons. And he points out that at that rate, they're not going to be on schedule to get it over the 8 years that they said that they would be able to collect it. And that only the New York Fed had only produced a tiny 5 tons of gold. The rest of it came from the French. Now, that 5 tons of gold is really only about 2/3 of 1% of the amount in question. Now, the excuse that we hear is that the transportation from Paris is simpler and they can start it more quickly. And Zero Hedge asks, how exactly is a gold transport simpler because it originates in Paris and not in New York? Or does the New York Fed gold travel by car along the bottom of the Atlantic and is French gold transported by a Vespa scooter out of the country? And the question is this just more central bank shenanigans about gold?
Renowned author and expert Joel Skousen breaks down the globalist plan to shut down America and stage a new world war.
In one day, America will go from day to night. And if you haven't prepared in advance, there's not enough time to prepare in 24 hours, even if you saw it that early.
Coming to the Info War in November is our new documentary film presentation.
Strategic relocation is a systematic way to think strategically in the future about how do I safeguard.
Joel Skousen, Strategic Relocation.
The freeways are going to be crowded, they're going to run out of gasoline, they're going to run out of food, and then they're going to start to go north and south of those freeways.
Joel Skousen is renowned as one of the world's foremost experts in strategic relocation and the securing of your home.
We talk about natural disasters, the health environment, we talk about pollution, the water quality. My personal experience about being in every one of these states.
Government is digging in for the organized, incremental collapse of society and world war.
The U.S. isn't building huge underground bases and bunkers because of some terrorist threat. They know that a massive nuclear attack is coming. They want that attack to come. Most people won't even be ready and won't be able to get out of town when any of these nuclear weapons fall, because there'll be absolute panic.
There is no preparedness without strategy.
What I tell people is that you do have time. Prepare wisely in advance.
This Christmas, give the gift of preparedness. Strategic Relocation, the film, with Joel Skousen and Alex Jones.